Hello everybody! Thought what we'd take a look at in this video is the Evangelion Chronicle books. Now a few weeks ago I did a guide to some of the Evangelion art books that exist out there, and the back end of last year I took a look at some of the manga and spin-off manga that are out there. So the last kind of books remaining in my collection are this Evangelion Chronicle that was released a few years ago, and what these are really is they're two kind of books that serve as guides, like series episode guides, to the show. Now this is the show and the original movie, so End of Evangelion and Death Rebirth. This is not the rebuilds. So these were released by Udon. Yeah, let's just delve straight into what you get here. They're really, really lovely things. And the cool thing about them is these were released in English, and up until that point I don't think we had many sort of things like this that had been released in English, in English language. So we start, table of contents, like the characters and the Evangelions themselves. Got an episode guide with points of interest, and it sort of takes a look at the merch. On the next page we've got something quite cool. This is sort of like a character correlation chart, and what we have is most of the main characters for the first half of the series laid out in front of us. And it sort of just gives you a little bit of a sort of brief look at, what their relationship is with each other. So, we can have a look straight away. The main one, so we got like Shinji. Between him and his dad, you've got like, Shinji sees him as a father. It's got like a love-hate relationship with him. And Gendo views him as a subordinate or indifferent. Between Shinji and Rei, you've got kind of, Shinji is a colleague, also has an interest, and Rei sees him as a colleague, but also the interest has a question mark on there. Between Shinji and Asuka, it's like competitive and interest, colleague, and complicated feelings. And as you go, Asuka and Hikari, like the classmate and friendship. And you just kind of got, like, just this really lovely little chart that kind of shows the relationships between all of the different characters. And up there as well, you've got Kyo Lorenz and his relationship between Gendo and Kyo. You can hardly see that, but that says Organization of Authority, Ally/Manipulation. So I won't go through all of these because it's a big book, but I guess I'll just kind of show you a few of the character profiles and what you get here. So you get like this lovely little bit here. So you get some of the artwork of Shinji, a little description of who Shinji was, how he came to be, some little screen caps there show moments of the series. Get some personal data on him, his name, his age, nationality, birthday, blood type for some reason, and who he's affiliated with. Get some cool artwork here, which is nice for like reference if you're cosplaying, I guess, which I use this for reference. And then you've got the correlation chart here up until episode 13, so this book covers the first half of the series, the other book covers the second half of the series with the movies. You kind of got a little passage there on his interpersonal relationships. It's really, really cool, a lot of information on here. And you got the Eva itself. So you got the Eva. Some data on the Eva itself, what it's called, who pilots it, the equipment it has, and also its combat records, which is really, really cool, along with the names of each of the angels. And then again, you've got the kind of artwork of the Eva there in various forms, another handy reference for cosplay, if you decide to ever cosplay an Evangelion, which I have seen. And the person who cosplays the Evas, it's fantastic. So next up, you've got pretty much the same there for Rei. You've got like her kind of relationships with different characters, how she is with, like Ritsuko, Gendo, Misato, Asuka, Shinji. You've got some details on Eva Unit 0 there. And then we come to my favourite character, we've got Asuka, and again, just kind of how she views everyone in the series. Some Various shots of her in different outfits. You got the famous yellow sundress, her school uniform, her plug suit, and her Ava there with, again, it's like her details there, what equipment it has, as well as the combat records. So as it goes on, you know, it's really, really kind of cool. You get to see quite a bit of data on each of the characters. I do find this quite useful sometimes when it comes to like writing a fanfic, because you can look up a bit of like certain information quite quickly. And at the end you've kind of got like just some other people who are involved. Not really too much on them, just some of the people that pop up every now and then. And you move on to some of the data. So this is really cool. You get like a timeline of Evangelion. Some notes there about the effects of second impact, Nerve, the angels, some data there on the state of the world after second impact. It's a really lovely library of information in here. And there you get like an organisation correlation chart. So the CELE, United Nations, Nerve, Instrumentality Commission, Marduk, Self-Defense Force, Government, Heavy Chemical Industries, and United Nations Military. So just a few of the organisations that appear in Evangelion. And this is, so now we're on to like the episode guides. And what this kind of does, it sets up a little bit of a timeline showing shots of the episodes, key moments. And then you've got these points of interest, so some data on the third angel, what an N2 mine is, various military units used. It's been a while since I picked this up, so I actually kind of forgot myself just how much was in these books and how good they actually were. And yeah, some more kind of points of interest. Oh, we're actually on to episode 2 now. Got like some nice little blueprints of the tactical centre there. So yeah, this is just like, this is part 1. I thought this would be quite cool to show off. We get to see the episode my favourite arrives in. Again, you've got the points of interest there, the angel. One of the things that's really cool is sometimes I feel you don't get enough of a glimpse of the angels in full in the series. So you get to see what Gagio actually looks like there. Some more information in Unit 2, Kaji, key moments in there. The first appearance of Adam. So we'll skip through that. And at the back, what we have is the merchandise. So this is just like a lovely guide to, I think, all of the merch that was kind of released along with Evangelion. So these are your DVD box sets that were released. These are sort of the individual DVDs that were sold in shops. The movies. And then we've got here some like Laserdisc and early DVD stuff here. Because Evangelion was released on Laserdisc. Can you believe that? I've never even held a Laserdisc. And this as well, this harkens back to a video I did a while ago. This is a lovely guide to a number of the soundtracks that have been released. So you've got your 1, 2, 3 soundtrack, which is now being re-released in the 25th anniversary box. We've got some more there, and you can see just how many there have actually been. So whilst I've shown off about, I think, 11, and I've got about 3 or 4 more since then, there's still so many more that I don't actually have. And it's like, there's various singles, there's albums, there's like re-releases of stuff. There's stuff like Vox, which, that was like a interesting one. Refrain, songs that were inspired by Evangelion. You got action figures here. They're still kind of producing a lot of this stuff. You can see there, they've got like oh, that Revoltech second generation, that was probably the first ever Evangelion figure I bought. got a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive glow-in-the-dark Eva. You've got Kubrick's here. There's so much really, really nice stuff, and I don't think this will cover all of it. Garage kits. You can see all of the various merch that has been released. That's a very famous figure. I've seen that one quite a bit. I've never seen it to buy. We've got some more fan servicey based ones there. But yeah, so that's side A covered. Let's take a look then at side B, and we won't linger too much on this because it's very much more of the same. But what we have here is your same layout, your characters, your episode guide, and at the end you got your merch. So with it being side B and covering the latter half, we have a brand new correlation chart. So we see a few additions here. We see Shinji's mum make an appearance. We see Karu make an appearance. So what we've got here is Karu, both colleagues, favourable. And we've got, between Shinji and Asuka, we've kind of changed a little bit there. We've got colleague, love and hate, and complicated emotions. We've still got indifference and competitive between Asuka and Rei. That hasn't really changed. Now they're favourable. Risco's mother makes an appearance. So yeah, that's just a few additions there. And what we'll do, so we've got some updates on Shinji in the second half. We get a few more different illustrations of him as a child, in some different outfits. And what we'll do, we'll actually skip to one of the ones we haven't seen. We've got Asuka there in a few different outfits. There we go. We'll skip to Karu and show him off a bit more. Karu, for only appearing in one episode, what an impact this character has made. And I mentioned this in the recent video about where I talk about DVD box sets. I talked about Gundam and Fruits Basket, how one episode can really change your perception of a character. Evangelion's perfect for that, because all it took was one episode for me to completely change my focus on, my perception of Asuka. And all it took is one episode for this guy to have such a massive impact and legacy. You know, it's hard to kind of, he's such an integral part of Evangelion for having such a small kind of amount of screen time. And he's fantastic for that. So there you go. You see some looks at Karu there. You get to see his relationship between characters. So favourable between him and Shinji. He's superior and subordinate. Subordinate. I have trouble with that word. Colleague and empathy between him and Rei, and giving orders and cooperative between him and Keel Lorenz. And we get to see these horrible things, the mass-produced Evas. They're horrible. I hate them. I absolutely, to be fair, even though they do some horrible things to my favourite character, they have an amazing and haunting design. Some more looks at Masato. And then we get some details on Yui and Naoko Akagi. So we get a little recap of episodes 1 to 13. But then we get onto the actual meat of this one itself. Episode 14, Sele, the Throne of Souls, it's called, or Weaving a Story. And it's the same as in the last one. We just kind of get to see some points of interest in the episodes and a brief guide to it. And then we get into the latter half. So what we get is episode 25, which is, this is the original TV ending. Obviously everyone knows now Evangelion, the series, has two endings. It's got the TV ending and end of Evangelion. And people do kind of sort of see them both as one and the same, even though in some ways the messages are kind of a little bit different. But I always view End of Evangelion as the true ending and what's happening in the real world, and episodes 25 and 26 is maybe a little bit of a glimpse at the inner workings of the characters. And there's the very, very famous congratulations scene in 26. And then we've got the movie, which is divided into episodes 25 and 26. But we've got Air/Love is Destructive, and Sincerely Yours, and I Need You, which has all the layout of that. Then we got the points of interest again. Got the assault by the JSSDF. Got the fight with the mass-produced. The appearance of Lilith and the human instrumentality project happening. And then at the end we got these little character summaries about what happens to them. Battle reports on all of the angels. And then we come back to the merchandise. So we can kind of see sort of the second half of what's being released. So just position the tripod properly. So we get quite a bit of Rey merch, some Oscar merch there. We start to see the characters kind of get paired off in merch. So we get Rey and Oscar, plug suit variations, Shinji and Karu in their school uniforms. You can see more just kind of Rey and Oscar figures. You get the Petite Eva collection. So I think I have like one of these. But that was quite a big merch line. The Angel XX collection, I kind of remember when these were coming out, but it was well before I could afford to get anything like that. But these were kind of like humanoid versions of the aliens. They all kind of looked at aliens, angels, and they all kind of looked like Rey. Admittedly, a lot of them maybe not my kind of thing. I wasn't overly keen, but they look alright for what they are. Here's the Sega prizes, which you could get in UFO catchers. Claw machines, as they're probably known in the UK. Yeah, so the various prizes you could win. Gashapon candy toys there. You can get quite a lot of them. Here we go, model kits. So these are quite interesting. I think some of these are still kind of being sold, like these perfect grade ones. They certainly look familiar, but I'm not in tune enough with the releases of model kits to really say. I do think I had that one at one point. Character dolls. Human scale figures. These figures are built to be human-sized, which means they're 1-to-1 scale. That is terrifying. Here we go, apparel, of which there's been a lot. I own a lot of Evangelion t-shirts and such. And these are, like a older Nerve design. There's been a hell of a lot more of these since, and still make more nowadays. Ones for each episode. And then at the back, you've just kind of got a timeline of Evangelion. So from its very original conception, back in 1993, all the way to kind of 2007, which was when the rebuild was announced. Remember, like I said at the beginning of the video, this was focused much more on the series rather than the rebuilds. It'd be cool to see something like this for the rebuilds when all of them are done. But it's just a timeline, kind of showing the conception, when the first draft was presented. 1994, you had your draft and plot outline for 26 episodes. 1995, had a panel. The episodes were aired, I believe. VHS release in 1996. You get to see there. One of the games, Neon Genesis Evangelion 2, was released. I've got the PSP game of that. It's down there, right there. So I can show you it. So I got the PSP version of this. Now it's all in Japanese, so I can't play it, unfortunately. One of the cool things about this, though, it has a lot of what they call confidential information, which gives a lot of details on the lore of Evangelion. Like where the angels came from, who the first ancestral race was, what was Cere's ultimate plan, and so on and so forth. You can kind of see this, 2007 manga volume 11, which wasn't even the final volume of the manga, I believe. But yeah, So there you go, I just thought it'd be quite cool to take a look at these, because we haven't kind of, it's like that last piece of like the Evangelion merch puzzle, I guess. I've got plenty more, but kind of fitting into a video is a little bit tricky. So anyway, hope you enjoyed watching that. Please do leave a like, leave a comment, and do subscribe, ring the bell and all that stuff to be notified, and I'll see you again in the next video.